Hello, everybody. We're back with another session of the Exeter campaign. No face cam today, but let's continue. I'm going to have Mars ask the team if they have a spare potion. Brock does not. So let's send this out. Hopefully, Python is working today. And I did make some tweaks in my instructions, so we'll see how that goes.
Time of day around 1 p. Mars, still recovering from his wounds, looks to the group and asks, "Anyone have a healing potion? I'm back on my feet, but I'd rather not go down again so soon." Brock shakes his head firmly. "Not on me. I prefer smashing heads to carrying potions." Kaelin frowns, rummaging through her pouch. "I don't have any either. Lareth? Thrain?" Lareth shakes his head and Thrain mutters, "I don't carry 'em. Not my style." Kaelin sighs. "Guess we're on our own for now. We'll just have to be smart about the next fight. Mars, stick to range. Don't give them a chance to get close again." The group regathers their gear, ready to move deeper into the mines. The path ahead narrows, with the faint sound of running water echoing through the dark.
Okay.
Perception, DC-14. To detect any signs of traps or ambushes ahead. Survival. To track kobold movements or spot hidden paths. Who takes the lead, and what will they roll?
Let's roll perception, because we are at the heart of these mines looking for the Ember Stone. So I'll do perception with Mars. 11, which will be a fail, and then survival, which I think +3. He has better survival. Oh, no, actually +7. Wow. Oh, I'm sorry, that's stealth. Looks like Mars has better numbers for both of these, respectively. Perception and 21. Okay. Mars rolled 11 for perception and 21 for survival.
Time of day, around 1:15. Mars takes point, scanning the dim tunnel for signs of danger while studying the ground for any recent kobold activity. Mars's perception 11. Mars doesn't notice any immediate traps or ambushes in the tunnel ahead. The path seems clear at a glance, but the faint sound of running water masks smaller noises that could signal lurking threats. Mars's survival 21. Mars's tracking instincts, however, are razor sharp. He identifies fresh kobold footprints leading down a side path to the left. The footprints suggest a small group, likely scouts or a patrol. Alongside these tracks, he spots claw marks on the walls and the faint impression of something being dragged, a cart or supplies, perhaps. Mars turns back to the group and explains, "The main path ahead looks clear for now, but the side tunnel to the left has fresh kobold tracks. Looks like they're dragging something, maybe supplies. Could be worth checking out if we want to hit their patrols before they regroup." Options for the group. Follow the main path. Continue deeper toward the heart of the mines. Investigate the side tunnel. Take out the kobold patrol or discover what they're moving. Split up. Send a smaller group to check the side tunnel while the others hold position. What's the call?
I'm intrigued by that side tunnel with the tracks and the claw marks and the possible dragging of a cart. Mars tells the team that he's intrigued by the sight of a cart. Maybe they'll find some good loot. But because of his low HP, he wants to be cautious and let them scout ahead first, instead of him.
Time of day, around 1:15.
Alright, so
Mars takes point, scanning.
here's the voice for this.
Time of day, around 1:20 p.m. Mars gestures toward the side tunnel. Those tracks and the sign of a cart intrigue me. Could be supplies, or loot worth our time. But with how banged up I am, I think it's smarter if one of you checks it out first. No offense, but I'm not exactly eager to be the first one to fall into another trap. Kaelin nods, drawing a dagger. Fair enough. I'll scout ahead. If it's just a small patrol, we can ambush them. If it's worse, I'll fall back and regroup. Lareth smirks, knocking an arrow. I'll cover her from a distance. If anything jumps her, it'll get an arrow through the throat. Kaelin moves cautiously into the side tunnel, with Lareth holding position behind her. Skill check. Kaelin rolls Stealth, District of Columbia 13, to scout undetected. Lareth rolls Perception, District...
Okay, so while they roll, we'll have a little banter with Mars and Brock. Not necessarily banter, just an exchange. You can roll for them. At the same time, while they're doing so, Mars looks to Brock, and Brock notices that Mars is really in bad shape. Brock says, "We have to find you a potion somewhere. Hopefully, this loot may have one." Okay, let's hopefully Python will work here, which is rolling. Yep. So that's definitely off the table for now on. Maybe because how big the chat is. I doubt we're seeing the tokens at this point, the token count, but it's probably something to do with the amount of
It
text.
seems the rolling function has reset again. I'll manually calculate the outcomes. # Kaelin's stealth roll. Rolling prod 1d20 plus 3, but 14 plus 3 equals 17. Success. Kaelin moves silently into the side tunnel, blending into the shadows. Her movements are precise, and the faint sound of running water helps mask any noise she makes. Lareth's perception roll. Rolling 20 equals 4, 12 plus 4 equals 16. Lareth's sharp eyes scan the tunnel as he keeps his bow at the ready. He catches faint movements ahead and notices the glint of metal, likely kobold weapons or armor, about 40 feet from Kaelin's position. As Mars and Brock wait, Brock glances at Mars, concern etched on his face. "You're in bad shape, lad. We've got to find you a potion. Maybe this loot will have what we need. If it doesn't, we're going to have to figure something else out." Kaelin and Lareth should report back shortly. Do Mars and Brock remain in position, or move closer while waiting?
Oh, by the way, when Mars leveled up, his HP it did go up to 11, so I completely forgot about that. But it's still 11 out of 16, which is fair. So I completely forgot about that. Brock is still stuck in level 1, but he's very close. He's about 25 away, I think. Yep, 25 experience away. So we're pretty darn close. He'll get leveled up after this, most likely after this session. Brock will keep an eye on their backs. Mars will take a seat, looking at the team as they investigate down the tunnel, perhaps thinking of what he'll do once they get out.
Time of day, around 1:25 p.m. Brock settles himself against the stone wall, his great axe resting nearby, his gaze fixed on the tunnel behind them. "I'll keep an eye out while they check that tunnel. No way I'm letting us get caught off guard," he mutters, more to himself than Mars. As he watches, Brock's mind drifts. Despite his focus on the present danger, thoughts of what to do after this grueling mission creep in. Restoring his family's honor, enjoying a well-earned drink back in Ironhold, or perhaps taking the time to reforge his old connections come to mind. He grips his axe tighter. One step at a time, he thinks. Mars, still recovering, leans against the wall nearby, his breathing steady but strained. The faint echoes of Kaelin and Lareth's movements return as they begin to make their way back. Kaelin's report. Kaelin emerges from the side tunnel with Lareth close behind. Small patrol, 3 kobolds and a cart filled with supplies. "Nothing too dangerous if we hit them hard and fast," she says, glancing at Mars and Brock. Lareth adds, "Looked like they had some crates and satchels in that cart. Could be something useful, maybe even potions." Kaelin's gaze shifts to the group. "Your call. Do we take them out now, or wait until they're distracted? What's the plan? Engage now, set up an ambush, or let them pass?"
I just realized I have a spell, uh, Cure Wounds. Let's ask the DM if I can use it. Can Mars use his Cure Wounds spell on himself?
Mars can absolutely use Cure Wounds on himself if he has the spell prepared and available spell slots. Here's how it works. Cure Wounds. Casting time, 1 action. Range, touch. Mars can target himself. Effect, restores 1d8 plus wisdom modifier her HP, as Mars is a ranger. If Mars chooses to cast Cure Wounds, he will regain HP based on the roll. Would you like to roll for the healing effect? Let me know the result of 1d8 plus Mars's wisdom modifier.
Mars is thinking about it, but he'll hold off. After he just leveled up, he is now at 11 hit points out of 16. So not too concerning, but he is more curious what they'll find in the loot. So the team gets ready and will go with Phelan, with Kayleen. Memory. Oh, okay. That works. Looks like we're getting a
Time of
counter.
day, around 30. Mars decides to hold off on using his Cure Wounds, noting that his improved resilience after leveling up has left him in better shape. Still, his curiosity about what the kobolds might be guarding keeps him eager to push forward. Let's take them out quickly and see what's in that cart, he says, readying his bow. Kalen nods. Good. A quick strike should do it. Stick with me. Lareth and I will take the lead. Thrain and Brock, follow as backup. Mars, pick them off from range. The group advances toward the kobold patrol, careful not to make too much noise. The faint chittering of the kobolds grows louder as they come into view. 3 kobolds, one pushing a crude wooden cart piled with crates and satchels. Kalen signals for the group to prepare for an ambush. Ambush options. Attack immediately. The group gains surprise and all members act first in initiative. Set a distraction. Use an item, e.g. the signaling horn Mars carries, to draw the kobolds out and pick them off. Wait and observe. Gather more information before committing to action. What's the group's plan?
I'm going to make this interesting because we've been running into a lot of the 3 kobolds usually. I mean, the last one we did hack for the Drake edition, but let's do it again. Let's hack the story here and add a little twist with the cart they're pulling. So it's just not the 3 kobolds and the cart. Okay, sorry about the break there. Let's continue. Quite the prompt here. Let's see what happens.
Time of day, around 1:35. As the group prepares to strike, Mars narrows his eyes at the cart the kobolds are dragging. Something doesn't look right. The cart is heavier than it should be for its size, and the kobolds struggle to pull it despite their frantic chittering. The crates atop it shift slightly, revealing faint scratches along the wood as though something inside is trying to claw its way out. Kalen notices too and whispers, "That cart isn't just carrying supplies. Something's in there.
Nice.
Something alive." Suddenly, one of the kobolds stops pulling and slams a club against the side of the cart, yelling in Draconic. The chittering grows louder, and the cart shakes violently for a moment before going still. Whatever is inside seems contained, but the kobolds are clearly nervous about keeping it that way. Lareth whispers, "Whatever's in there, it's not happy. If we attack, we'd better be ready for whatever they've got locked up." New scenario. In addition to the 3 kobolds, the cart holds a mysterious creature. If the fight becomes too chaotic or the cart is damaged, the creature could escape. Its nature is unknown, but it's likely hostile. Options.
Okay, so we can attack the kobolds. What's inside? Target the cart first. Free the creature, potentially cause chaos. And oh, that's interesting. Wait and observe. You know what? Let me check my spells here. Nothing as far as talking to animals, so never mind about that. But I do like this. I really like this little addition here. Maybe this is the creature from the lagoon we saw earlier. Mars whispers to Kalen, "Do you think this is the creature that we saw the footsteps of back at the waters?"
Time of day around 1:40 p.m. Mars leans close to Kalen and whispers, "Do you think this could be the creature we saw signs of back by the water? Those clawed tracks. Maybe this is what they belong to." Kaylin's sharp eyes flick to the cart and the kobolds, her brow furrowing. Could be, she whispers back. If it is, the kobolds might be dragging it somewhere for a reason. Either they're keeping it captive, or they're trying to use it as some kind of weapon. Lareth, overhearing, mutters, "Whatever it is, we can't let it get loose unless we're ready for a fight. If those tracks were any indication, it's not friendly." The group remains tense, the kobolds oblivious to their presence for the moment. Kaylin's take, "This changes the stakes. We could try to ambush them and secure the cart before whatever's inside gets loose. Or we could let it out to turn the tables, but that's a gamble. If it doesn't go after the kobolds, it'll come for us." Options: ambush the kobolds first, take them out quickly and secure the cart. Focus on the cart, free the creature to cause chaos and hope it targets the kobolds. Wait for the kobolds to act, see if they give away more about their intentions with the cart. What's the group's call?
Mars agrees with Kaylin that they should probably take out the kobolds first and then acquire the cart. The creature inside may be too dangerous to set free.
Time of day around 1:40 p.m.
Time of day, around 1:45 p.m. Mars nods at Kaylin, whispering, "You're right. That thing in the cart might be too dangerous to let loose. We deal with the kobolds first and secure the cart before anything gets out of hand." Kaylin signals to the group, her daggers ready. "All right, we hit them fast and hard. Lareth, Mars, pick 'em off from range. Brock, Thrain, you're up front with me. Keep that cart intact until we figure out what's inside." The group moves into position for a coordinated ambush. Surprise round. Since the kobolds are unaware, the group gains a full round to act before initiative begins. Mars and Lareth can attack from range, while Kaylin, Brock, and Thrain engage in melee if needed. Mars's turn. Mars has a clear shot at the kobolds. Does he fire at one, aim to disable a specific threat, or take another action? Let me know his attack roll if he fires.
Okay, so we'll use the attack on the kobold struggling to pull the cart. So now we have +7, which is plenty. That might not be enough, though. Mars targets the kobold struggling to pull the cart. Attack roll of 11 with the longbow. That's a hit.
Mars's attack roll 11, hit. Mars's arrow streaks through the air, catching the kobold struggling to pull the cart. The creature lets out a choked cry as the arrow strikes true. Roll for damage, 1d8 plus 3 for the longbow, and let me know the total.
Damage of 8. That's plenty.
Mars's attack roll 11, hit.
Alright, so let's use the...
Mars's damage, 8 total. The arrow slams into the kobold, piercing its chest. The creature lets out a strangled cry before collapsing to the ground, lifeless. The other two kobolds stop in their tracks, chittering in alarm as they glance around for the source of the attack. Kaylin's turn. Kaylin moves swiftly, closing the gap toward the nearest kobold. She lashes out with her daggers. Kaylin's attack rolls. Main hand, 1d20 plus 5, rolling right pointing arrow 16, hit. Off hand, 1d20 plus 5, rolling right pointing arrow 13, hit. Damage rolls. Main hand, 1d4 plus 3, rolling right pointing arrow 4 plus 3 equals 7 damage. Off hand, 1d4, rolling right pointing arrow 2 damage. Kaylin's blades carve into the kobold nearest her, and it crumples to the ground in a heap. 2 down. She calls back to the group. Lareth's turn. Lareth takes aim with his shortbow at the remaining kobold, trying to finish the ambush cleanly. Lareth's attack roll. Rolling 1d20 plus 6 right-pointing arrow 17, hit. Damage roll, 1d6 plus 4. Rolling right-pointing arrow 3 plus 4 equals 7 damage. The arrow catches the last kobold in the throat, and it collapses with a gurgling cry. The cart sits silent and still, with no kobolds left standing. Combat over. The group successfully eliminated the kobolds without alerting whatever is inside the cart. Kaelin turns to the others, wiping her daggers. All right, the kobolds are dealt with. Now let's figure out what's in this thing. What does the group do next? Inspect the cart carefully, open it immediately, or discuss further?
Okay, so that was a quick little combat round, as expected. Let's have Brock maybe go up to the cart and remove a cover if there is one. Brock will volunteer to walk up to the cart and remove the cover if there is one, to reveal what's inside. Brock. Didn't catch that right. Let's see if it worked. Yep, Brock steps forward.
Time of day, around 1:50. Brock steps forward, gripping his great axe tightly as he approaches the cart. "Stay back," he grunts to the others. "If there's something nasty in here, I'll handle it." The cart is crudely constructed, with a thick tarp strapped over the top. The wood is scratched and dented, and faint growls and occasional thuds come from within. Brock takes a deep breath and grabs the tarp, yanking it away in one swift motion to reveal the contents. Revealed inside the cart is a caged creature, thrashing weakly against the iron bars. It's a large, wolf-like beast, but its fur is mottled with patches of scales, and its glowing yellow eyes suggest something unnatural. It growls menacingly, exposing jagged teeth, but its movements are sluggish. It appears injured or drugged, perhaps by the kobolds. Kaelin moves closer, her eyes narrowing. "What in the nine hells is that thing? Some kind of experiment? A drake-wolf hybrid?" Thrain grips his hammer. "Doesn't matter what it is. If it's dangerous, we take it out now." The creature's growls grow louder as it notices the group. Its claws scrape against the cage, leaving faint sparks where they meet metal. Options. 1. Subdue or calm the creature. Attempt to keep it contained, or sedate it further. 2. Free it. Release the creature and deal with whatever happens next. 3. Eliminate it. Attack the creature to ensure it's no longer a threat. What's Brock's call?
I think Brock here will have a soft spot for animals, so the team is all frantic and they want to either get rid of it, kill it, etc. But Brock is going to calm them down and be like, no, no, no. He'll feed them like a piece of bread to calm them down, to calm the creature down. Brock tells the team to keep quiet and to stay calm. He wants to befriend the creature by giving the creature perhaps a piece of ration from his pocket. See, this works. This might be animal handling, I'm guessing. Let's see. I'm hoping we can do that because +4. Whoops. Brock has +1. Okay, impressive. Yep, animal handling. Ah, this will be tough. Mm.
Time of day, around 1:55 m. Brock raises a hand to silence the group, his voice low and firm. "Stay calm. Let's not spook it. If we can make it an ally instead of an enemy, it's worth a try." He reaches into his pack, pulling out a piece of dried meat from his rations. With careful, deliberate movements, he holds the ration out toward the caged creature, keeping his other hand free in case it lashes out. The creature's growl subsides slightly as it sniffs the air, its glowing eyes fixed on Brock. Its movements remain tense, but less erratic as it cautiously leans forward toward the offering. Skill check. Roll Animal Handling DC 15 to attempt to calm and befriend the creature. Let me know Brock's roll.
Come on. Yes, 19 +1, unnatural 20. Brock rolls a 19 +1. Hell yeah. We just befriended some weird mine creature. Nice.
Brock's animal handling roll, 20. Success. The creature sniffs the air, its glowing eyes locked on the ration in Brock's hand. Slowly it leans forward, its growls fading into low, rumbling breaths. With a cautious motion, it takes the dried meat from Brock's hand, chewing slowly as it continues to watch him. Kalen whispers, "Well, I'll be damned. I didn't think that would work." The beast relaxes slightly, its movements less aggressive and more curious. Its claws no longer scrape at the cage, and it tilts its head, as if trying to understand Brock's intentions. Lareth steps closer, his bow still in hand. "It's not attacking, but what do we do now? Leave it in the cage? Let it out?" The creature seems calmer, but it remains wary. Options. 1. Keep it in the cage. Secure the cart and take it along to release it later under controlled circumstances. 2. Release it now. Free the creature and see if it bonds with the group, but risk it becoming hostile. 3. Leave it behind. Leave the cage intact and continue the
Okay.
mission, avoiding further risk. What's Brock's decision?
So, I think Brock will have a naive question here for Kalen. Before doing anything, Brock looks to Kalen and asks her, "Is what if the Ember Stone you mentioned is not an actual stone, but this creature? Do we know what this stone, what this Ember Stone actually is?" Not, not Emma Stone. God, that's funny. Emma Stone. Oh my gosh.
Time of day, around 2 p.m. Brock turns to Kalen, his gaze firm as he gestures toward the creature. "Kalen, what if this isn't just some beast? What if the Emberstone isn't a stone at all, but this thing? Do we even know what it actually is?" Kalen's eyes narrow as she studies the creature in the cage, her expression thoughtful. "The Emberstone, everything I've heard about it says it's a source of power. Ancient dwarves spoke of it as something that could ignite the strength of the soul. But if you're asking if it could be alive..." She pauses, frowning. "I can't say for sure. The stories are vague, on purpose, I think. Maybe the stone is literal. Maybe it's metaphorical. Or maybe it's something we don't fully understand." Lareth cuts in, his tone skeptical. "You're saying we might have been chasing a legend that turns out to be a snarling, scaly wolf drake? Doesn't seem likely, but stranger things have happened." Thrain grips his hammer tightly. "If this thing has anything to do with the Emberstone, we need to figure it out before it tears someone apart." Kalen turns back to Brock. "If you're right, this changes everything, but we don't know enough yet. If we're letting it out, we need to be ready for whatever it does." The creature, meanwhile, watches the group, its breathing steady but its glowing eyes still wary. What does Brock decide? Secure the creature for later, release it now, or press Kalen for more details before acting?
Well, Mars is an elf. Let's see, what kind of elf was I again? I think it was a wood elf. I'm not mistaken. Characteristics. Gosh, I don't recall what kind of elf I chose. Well, Mars has been quiet since Brock's little befriending of the creature, so I'm thinking perhaps he was trying to recall what this creature may be. Let's see if we have anything skills related, but let's just figure this out here. So, while the team is chatting, the entire time Mars has been contemplating what this creature might be due to his elven heritage. Does he know what this is? What it is? A history check,
Time of
Arcana.
day, around 2:05 p. While the team debates, Mars stays silent, studying the creature intently. Its glowing eyes, scaled patches, and wolf-like features stir something deep in his memory, stories passed down among the elves about ancient hybrid beasts created through unnatural means. Mars focuses, his elven heritage and knowledge of lore giving him an edge. This could be a Magmara, a rare and dangerous creature said to be created in magical
Magmora.
forges long forgotten. These beasts were rumoured to have been bound to protect treasures of immense power, their very essence tied to the flames of creation. They were neither fully beast
Oh,
nor fully magical construct, something in between. Skill check. Mars can roll History, DC 14, or Arcana, DC 15, to determine more about the creature and its possible connection to the Emberstone. Would you
well,
like Mars to roll, or proceed with his current level of insight?
well, we have +2 for both Arcana and History, so it's It's the same possibility. So let's just do a history. 4, which is, darn, nothing. Okay. He rolled a 6 for history. Yeah, no good.
Mars's history roll, 6. Mars struggles to piece together the fragmented stories from his heritage. The creature's appearance matches vague descriptions of ancient hybrid beasts, but he can't recall any specific details about its origins or purpose. All he knows for certain is that it feels unnatural, and its presence here must have significance. He looks to the group and speaks cautiously. I've heard of creatures like this in old elven tales. Guardians, maybe, or experiments. I can't be sure, but if it's tied to anything as powerful as the Emberstone, we shouldn't take it lightly. Kalen nods. That's enough to make me think twice about releasing it. If it's a guardian, it might not see us as its allies. The creature continues to watch the group, its glowing eyes tracking each movement. The tension is palpable. What's the group's next move? Secure the creature, release it, or take another action?
Brock offers the idea of maybe taking it back to the waters, its natural habitat. A little brain fart there.
Time of day, around 2:10 p.m. Brock looks at the creature, his gaze softening slightly. If this thing's tied to the Emberstone or something like it, maybe we shouldn't treat it like a prisoner. What if we take it back to the waters? It could be its natural habitat, and maybe it'll calm down there. Kalen considers the idea, her expression uncertain. It's a risk. If it gets loose before we reach the waters, we might not be able to contain it again. But if it is tied to this place, the waters could give us answers, or at least give it a chance to survive without tearing us apart. Thrain grunts. I'd rather put it down now than risk hauling it around, but if you think it'll help us, I'll go along, for now. Lareth smirks. Better than leaving it to the kobolds. If it's smart enough to know we're helping it, it might even turn out to be an ally. The creature tilts its head slightly, seemingly calmer after Brock's interaction. Its claws no longer scrape at the cage, though its glowing eyes remain watchful. Options. 1. Escort the creature to the waters. Secure the cage and begin moving it toward the area where the clawed tracks were first spotted. 2. Release it now. Let the creature out and see if it responds positively to the group. 3. Leave it in the cage and continue. Continue the mission while keeping the creature contained for later. What does Brock and the team decide?
Okay, let's figure out what to do here, because we can take the creature in the cage. Brock can strength pick up the cage, maybe if it's small enough, or maybe it's moderately sized, and walk back to where they saw the claw marks. Or he can let the creature out, like a pet, maybe tying a leash to it or something. There's a couple of choices here that are outside of the ones that we got. That I'm thinking of here. So let's just do. Maybe Brock will tell him. Brock offers the idea that he'll pick up the cage and walk the creature back where the claw marks were, further back. Mars wants to loot the cart if there is anything, and the other kobolds while he does that. Because he was frantic. He wants some health potions. Got my potions, man. Need my fix. All right, a lot of phone calls today. So let's hear
Time of
what
day.
happened.
Brock steps forward, his strength and determination evident as he grips the sides of the cage. All right, I'll carry it back to the waters where we saw the claw marks. If this thing's tied to the place, maybe it'll calm down once we get there. Kalen nods, but keeps her weapons ready. Fine, but if it makes one wrong move, we're putting it down. While Brock prepares to lift the cage, Mars searches the kobolds and the cart for anything of value. Looting results. 1. Cart loot. Small crate of raw gemstones, likely mined nearby, uncut but valuable. A vial of faintly glowing liquid, possibly a potion or alchemical mixture.
Okay.
Bundle of iron ingots, useful for crafting or trade. 2. Kobold loot. 6 copper coins, total across all kobolds. A crude map showing what looks like a path deeper into the mines with a marked area labelled in Draconic.
Interesting.
Kalen raises an eyebrow at the finds. That vial might be what you need, Mars. If it's a potion, it'll do you more good than sitting in that cart. The creature in the cage growls faintly as Brock hefts it, but it doesn't lash out. Its weight is significant, but nothing Brock can't handle. Options moving forward. 1. Examine the glowing vial immediately to determine if it's a healing potion.
Oh, let's see
2.
what it is first.
Escort the creature to the waters without delay. 3. Examine the crude map to understand the kobold's movements before continuing. What's the group's next move?
Let's see, gemstones. We'll do ruby. Backpack. Okay. Crude map. So I think I have another map already. Let's put another map. For this map. All right. He takes a look at the vial to see if it's potion.
Time of day around 2:20 p.m. Mars picks up the faintly glowing vial and inspects it carefully. The liquid inside swirls with a soft blue light, its texture slightly thicker than water. The craftsmanship of the vial suggests it's alchemical in nature, possibly a potion. Skill check. Mars can roll Arcana DC 13 to identify the potion or have someone else like Kalen assist. Alternatively, he can taste a small drop to confirm its effects. What does Mars do? Roll for Arcana, ask for assistance, or taste test the potion.
Let's do Arcana. Oh, nice. Okay. Arcana roll of 18.
Mars Arcana roll, 18, success. Mars inspects the glowing vial, his keen understanding of alchemical properties kicking in. The blue glow, combined with the viscosity and faint cooling aura it emits, identifies it as a potion of healing, a common but invaluable item in their current situation. Potion of healing effects restores 2d4 plus 2 HP when consumed. Kalen glances at the vial in Mars's hand. Well, there's your answer. If you're still feeling rough, I'd drink that before we run into more trouble.
Yeah, we'll drink it.
The rest of the group prepares to move, with Brock hefting the cage and the cart secured for transport. Options for Mars. 1. Drink the potion now, to restore health. 2. Save the potion for later, holding off unless the situation worsens. What's Mars's call, and does the group proceed toward the waters, or take another action?
Mars will drink the potion and then study the map while they walk back to the waters with the cage that Brock is carrying. Okay, so potion here. 2d4 plus 2. Okay. Okay.
Time of day around 2:25 p.m. Mars uncorks the vial and downs the potion, feeling an immediate surge of vitality as his wounds begin to close.
2d4 plus
The
2.
cool sensation spreads through his body, leaving him refreshed and more prepared for the challenges ahead. Healing roll. The potion restores 2d4 plus 2 HP.
So 8.
Let me know the roll if you'd like to calculate his exact health, or I can assume he's feeling significantly better. As Brock carries the cage back toward the waters, Mars unfolds the crude map found on the kobolds. The map is crudely drawn, with jagged lines and misshapen markings, but it clearly shows a path deeper into the mines. A section is circled and labelled in Draconic, with symbols resembling jagged claws and fire. It's likely a key kobold stronghold, or something they fear guarding. Kalen glances over Mars's shoulder. Looks like that might lead us to the heart of the mines, or whatever's waiting for us there. Current actions. 1. Mars studies the map further while walking. 2. Brock carefully carries the creature back to the waters. 3. The rest of the group stays alert for ambushes. The faint sound of dripping water grows louder as the group nears the area where the clawed tracks were first seen. What happens next will depend on the creature's reaction to being near its possible habitat. Does Mars roll to study the map more, Arcana or Insight, or should the group take any other actions as they proceed?
Okay, so Mars actually speaks Draconic. I just forgot to check that a long time ago. Don't tell me it's doing it. Well, it's probably doing memory for its own sake. Yeah, that works. Oh, Emperor Warden's Vault. Interesting.
Time of day around 2:30. As Mars examines the map, his knowledge of Draconic allows him to make sense of the crude writing. The circled area on the map reads, "The Ember Warden's Vault." Kalen leans closer as Mars explains. "The Ember Warden sounds like some kind of guardian or protector," she mutters. "If this map's accurate, that vault might hold the Emberstone, or whatever it is we're really after." The rest of the writing includes warnings scrawled in jagged text. "Beware the Warden's wrath, offer tribute, or face the flames." Lareth whistles softly. "Sounds like a cozy place. Just the kind of thing kobolds would fear, but keep close to for power." As the group approaches the waters, the caged creature growls faintly, its glowing eyes scanning the environment. The clawed tracks become more prominent, leading directly to the water's edge. The group's current position. The creature seems restless, but not hostile. The waters glisten faintly, reflecting dim light from the cavern's ceiling. The group stands at the edge of a potential turning point. Options. 1. Release the creature here. See if it reacts positively to its possible habitat. 2. Continue studying the area. Look for further signs of the creature's connection to the waters. 3. Leave the creature in the cage for now, and proceed with the map toward the vault. What's the group's call?
Brock turns to the team, mostly Mars. He says he's going to set the cage down next to the waters and let it free, telling everyone to stand back.
Time of day, around 2:35. Brock takes a deep breath and turns to the team, his voice firm. "I'm setting the cage down by the waters. We'll let it free and see if it belongs here. Everyone stand back. I don't want anyone getting hurt if this goes sideways." Kalen nods, stepping back with her daggers ready. "Fair enough. Just be ready to deal with it if it turns on us." Thrain and Lareth move further away, weapons drawn but not raised. Mars keeps his bow ready, his sharp eyes focused on the creature. Brock carefully lowers the cage near the water's edge. The creature growls softly, its glowing eyes shifting between the group and the water as it sniffs the air. It seems calmer but still wary. Brock opens the cage. With a slow and deliberate motion, Brock unlatches the cage, swinging the door open. He steps back immediately, his great axe ready in case the creature lashes out. The creature hesitates for a moment, its claws gripping the edge of the cage. Then it slowly steps out, sniffing the ground and the air. Its eyes flash as it turns toward the water, letting out a low rumbling growl, not of aggression, but of recognition. The creature pads toward the water's edge, lowering its head to drink. After a moment, it raises its head to look back at the group, its glowing eyes calm and steady. It lets out a soft, almost thankful growl before turning its attention fully to the waters. Kalen exhales, lowering her daggers. "Looks like that worked. Maybe it knows this place is home." Thrain grunts. "Good, now we don't have to haul it around." The creature seems content by the water, but its presence here raises questions. Options. 1. Approach the creature cautiously to see if it will interact with the group further. 2. Examine the waters for any signs of magic or other clues. 3. Leave the creature and proceed toward the vault, marked on the kobold's map. What's the group's next move?
Mars thinks that the kobolds were using the creature as the sacrifice for the Warden's Vault, telling Kalen. I keep thinking Thalen's Kalen.
Time of day, around 2:40 p. Mars watches the creature settle near the water's edge, its movements calm yet deliberate. Turning to Kalen, he whispers, "I think the kobolds were using this thing as a sacrifice for the Warden's vault. The map mentions tribute, and they were dragging it right through these mines. It makes sense. They were too scared to approach on their own, so they were sending it in their place." Kalen furrows her brow, glancing back at the creature. A sacrifice? That fits, especially with how nervous they seemed. If that vault has anything to do with the Emberstone, they might have been trying to appease whatever's guarding it. Thrain grips his hammer. So we just freed their tribute. If the Warden's expecting something, it's not going to be happy when it finds nothing's coming. Lareth smirks. Or maybe we've done it a favor. If this thing wasn't meant to be there, it might actually help us later. Hard to say. The creature looks back at the group briefly before resuming its focus on the water, its glowing eyes reflecting faintly in the ripples. Kalen's thoughts. If Mars is right, we need to be ready for whatever's inside that vault. It might not accept us just walking in, especially if it was expecting something else. We'll need a plan. Options. 1. Interact with the creature again. See if it reacts to Mars's theory or shows any signs of intelligence. 2. Investigate the area further. Look for additional clues or signs of kobold activity. 3. Head toward the vault immediately. Prepare to confront whatever the Warden is and deal with its challenges. What does the group do?
Well, I have an idea. While Brock is comically trying to gesture the creature to go back into the water, its home, Mars has an idea. They can capture a kobold and use it as as a sacrifice. That's too funny.
Time of day, around 2:45 p.m. Brock, clearly enjoying himself, waves his hands and makes exaggerated gestures toward the creature, trying to coax it further into the water. "Go on! Back to your home, beastie! It's where you belong." The creature looks at him with mild confusion, but remains calm by the water's edge. Meanwhile, Mars watches with a smirk before a more serious idea strikes him. He turns to Kalen. If the Warden's vault needs a sacrifice, maybe we don't need to offer something valuable like this creature. What if we capture one of the kobolds? They're the ones who came up with this whole tribute idea anyway. Kalen raises an eyebrow, considering the suggestion. Not a bad plan. The kobolds already see the Warden as something to fear. Offering one of their own might work, and if it doesn't, it's not like we're losing much. Thrain chuckles darkly. I like it. Let the little pests deal with the monster they worship. Lareth nods. If we're going to try that, we need to move quickly. There are bound to be more kobolds deeper in the mines. Options. 1. Capture a kobold. Follow Mars's plan and search for a nearby patrol or kobold group to capture one alive. 2. Stick with the current creature. Continue investigating its role and bring it along if necessary. 3. Skip the sacrifice altogether. Head directly to the vault and rely on strength and strategy to face the Warden. What's the group's decision?
Mars thinks they should go to the vault, but perhaps find a kobold that is near the vault so they don't have to drag it so far as they prepare to leave. Brock, stubborn to leave, remains with the creature for now.
Time of day, around 2:50 p.m. Mars gestures toward the path leading to the vault marked on the kobold's map. We should head to the vault first. If we find any kobolds nearby, we can grab one then. Better than dragging one all the way across these mines. Kalen nods in agreement, motioning for the group to move. Smart. We'll save time and keep our energy for whatever's waiting at the vault. As the group begins to prepare, Brock remains by the creature, his arms crossed defiantly. You lot go on. I'll stay here with the beast. It seems calm now, but if it decides to wander off or cause trouble, better someone's here to handle it. Kalen hesitates, then shrugs. Fine. Just don't let it eat you. We'll come back for you once we've sorted out the vault, or if we need a backup plan. Group splits. Brock stays behind with the creature at the waters. Mars, Kalen, Lareth, and Thrain head toward the Warden's vault. The path ahead grows darker, and the air feels heavier with each step. The group's footsteps echo faintly, accompanied by the occasional distant chittering of kobolds. Skill check. To track kobold movements and locate any stragglers near the vault. Stealth DC 14. To avoid detection as they approach the vault. Who rolls and what's the plan?
I have an idea for a story hack. Another story hack. They reach a path that they haven't explored yet, but noticed a dozen dead kobolds, unaware of what caused. Oh,
Time of day, around 3 p.m. As the group presses forward, the tunnel twists and narrows, opening into a broader chamber. The first thing that catches their attention is the stench, pungent and metallic, the unmistakable scent of blood and decay. Kalen raises a hand, signaling the group to halt. Wait, something's off. Mars steps closer, his sharp eyes scanning the scene ahead. A dozen kobold bodies lie scattered across the chamber floor, some slumped against the walls, others sprawled as if they were fleeing something. Their weapons are still clutched in their hands, but their expressions are frozen in terror. Lareth wrinkles his nose. What in the nine hells happened here? There's no sign of a fight, but this many dead. Thrain kneels by one of the bodies, inspecting its wounds. These cuts, they're clean. Too clean for kobold weapons. Something strong, something precise, tore through them. Kalen glances around the chamber, her daggers drawn. We need to move carefully. Whatever did this might still be close. Mars studies the area, his instincts sharp. This wasn't a natural fight. Something far deadlier caused this carnage. Options. 1. Investigate the area. Search for clues about what killed the kobolds. Investigation or survival, DC 14. 2. Press forward cautiously. Avoid lingering and continue toward the Warden's vault, staying alert for danger.
oh,
3. Set a defensive position.
all right.
Prepare for the possibility that whatever did this could return. What's the group's next move?
Mars rolled only a 6 for survival. Darn.
Time of day, around 3:05 p.m. Mars examines the scene, kneeling by one of the kobold bodies to inspect the wounds and surrounding area. Despite his best efforts, the chaotic nature of the chamber and the overwhelming stench of death make it difficult to piece together what happened. The claw marks and clean cuts give no clear answers, and the strange absence of tracks leading away adds to the mystery. Kalen watches him work, her expression tense. No luck? She asks. Mars shakes his head. Nothing. Whatever happened here, it was quick, and it didn't leave much behind. The group remains in the chamber, the unease settling over them like a thick fog. Whatever caused this devastation could still be nearby, lurking in the shadows or further along the path to the vault. Options. 1. Kalen or Lareth investigates further. Another attempt to uncover clues. Investigation or perception, DC 14. Press forward cautiously. The group moves toward the vault, staying alert for danger. 3. Set a defensive position. Prepare to defend against a potential ambush. What's the group's decision?
Can Mars tell which kobold might have been the leader or the biggest? Perception.
Time of day, around 3:10. Mars takes another look at the kobold bodies, scanning for signs of hierarchy
Ah,
or leadership.
dang.
Among kobolds, leaders often carry distinct markings or equipment, like slightly better crafted weapons, adornments, or specific scars from past battles. Skill check. Mars can roll, perception DC 14, to determine if any of the kobolds appeared to hold a leadership role. Would you like to roll for Mars, or shall I proceed with an approximate result?
I rolled perception 9. Rolled. Fail.
Mars's perception roll, 9. Mars scans the scattered kobold bodies, looking for any sign of a leader among them, distinct markings, better weapons, or unique features. Unfortunately, the carnage is too disorganized, and the kobolds' equipment is uniformly crude and basic. None of them stand out as particularly significant. Kalen steps forward, glancing over Mars's shoulder. Can't tell either, huh? If there was a leader, maybe they didn't make it this far, or they're the first to run when things went bad. Thrain grunts, eyeing the bodies warily. Who cares if they had a leader? It didn't save them. Let's not waste more time here. The group still has the chamber and the unexplored path ahead. Options: 1. Move forward cautiously toward the vault. Continue investigating with another skill, Kalen, Lareth, or Thrain. 3. Set a defensive position in case of danger. What's the group's next move?
Mars thinks, what of the Drake we defeated earlier was the leader, or one of a handful of leaders that are spread across these mines, looking for this very place? Hmm.
Time of day around 3:15. Mars's eyes narrow as he processes the scene and thinks back to the Drake they defeated earlier. He voices his theory to the group. What if that Drake we fought wasn't just some beast? What if it was one of the kobolds' leaders, or maybe one of several guardians scattered across these mines? They might all be drawn here to this vault for the same reason. Kalen tilts her head, considering his words. It would make sense. Kobolds worship power, especially creatures stronger than them. If that Drake was part of their hierarchy, then these mines might have more like it, or something even worse guarding the vault. Lareth grimaces. More Drakes. Great. Just what we need. Thrain tightens his grip on his hammer. If there are more of them, we'll deal with them the same way we dealt with the first. But if Mars is right, whatever's in that vault is important enough to draw them all here, and we'd better be ready to face it. Kalen nods, her expression serious. Then let's keep moving. Whatever wiped out these kobolds might still be close, and we'll need answers soon. The group prepares to leave the chamber, Mars's theory adding a new layer of tension to their journey. Options. 1. Continue toward the vault cautiously, keeping an eye out for further signs of Drakes or kobold activity. 2. Revisit the map for potential alternate routes to the vault. 3. Set a plan for engagement if they encounter more Drakes or a Guardian. What's Mars's and the group's next step?
Let's cut back to the scene with Brock as he's petting the creature, and it finally goes back into the water and swims away. Like it's a movie or something. I feel like this is more becoming like a cooperative AI D&D, which is great. I love it.
Time of day, around 3:20. Back near the waters, Brock kneels by the edge, his rough hands resting on his great axe as he watches the creature. It had been pacing the water's edge for some time, its glowing eyes glancing back at him occasionally. With a gruff sigh, Brock reaches out carefully, his massive hand brushing against the creature's scaled head. It doesn't growl or snap, only tilts its head slightly, as if curious. There you go, Brock mutters. Go on, get back to where you belong. The creature sniffs the air one last time before stepping into the water. Its movements are graceful now, its scales shimmering faintly in the dim light as it slips beneath the surface. For a moment, the water is still, then a faint ripple moves away, deeper into the cavern pool. Brock watches it go, his usual bravado replaced with a rare quietness. Well, that's one less thing to worry about, he mutters to himself. Options for Brock. 1. Wait for the team to return near the water's edge. 2. Scout the surrounding area to ensure no kobolds or other threats are nearby. 3. Rejoin the group and follow the path toward the vault. What does Brock do next?
Just checking what languages. Okay, so Dwarvish obviously and Giant. Okay, probably not going to be helpful for this quest. Brock decides to rejoin the group. If he remembers where to go.
Time of day around 3:25 p.m. Brock rises from his spot at the water's edge, brushing dust from his armor as he grips his great axe. All right, Beastie's back where it belongs. Time to catch up with the others before they get themselves into trouble. He begins following the path toward the Warden's vault, using the map's markings to guide his way. The faint echoes of Mars, Kalen, Lareth, and Thrain's voices drift through the tunnels, giving him a clear sense of direction. After a few minutes, he rounds a corner and spots the group just ahead, standing in a chamber littered with kobold corpses. Kalen looks up and raises an eyebrow as he approaches. "Brock, took you long enough?" Mars smirks. "Let me guess, the creature finally decided to listen to you?" Brock nods, his usual confidence returning. "Yeah, went right into the water, no trouble at all. Now, what in the hell's happened here?" Kalen gestures at the bodies. Something tore through them, quick, clean, and brutal. We're heading toward the vault now, but whatever did this might still be close. With Brock back in the fold, the group is now fully assembled again. Options. 1. Continue toward the vault cautiously as a united group. 2. Scout ahead to avoid any surprises. 3. Investigate the kobold carnage further now that Brock has rejoined.
Okay.
What's the group's next step?
So it's been 1 hour. We'll close the session off, assign XP, and do the session notes. So let's tell the AI that. Let's close the session here. Let's do XP assigning and session notes. So let's see, we have Mars first. It probably won't be able to do this. It will just print it out in the prompt if it can't actually do the code. Yep, that's fine. I'll just copy the stuff down.
It seems there's an issue saving the session notes to a file.
That's fine. Okay, so it looks like it's about the same. Yep. So 75 XP for both of them. 75. There we go. Perfect. And then rock. 25. There we go. Okay, so he's level 2 now. I'll do the usual leveling up process after recording, but that should be it for now. So thank you for watching as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one of the Exeter campaign.